How are you? I hope that wherever you are as you're watching this, you are having a fantastic day. If you're joining us live, welcome. And if you are watching this on our YouTube channel, hello and thanks for stopping by. And as a reminder to everybody who is watching this live, all of our live streams are captured on our YouTube page. You can always go and take a look at past episodes, not only from this series of live streams, but really all of our live streams. We have a ton of content on how to be a more effective networker, salesperson, how to really be a sales Sherpa, like we're going to talk about today, how to use all the different tools that are available to us in this hyper-connected time to really engage with our prospects, clients, networking partners, etc. So I've put the link down below if you want to check out all of those videos. We literally have hours and hours of content for you to check out. But so I wanted to say that. But again, thank you and welcome to everybody who is joining us live. If you have a chance, as I always ask, go ahead and throw in the comments below where you are right now if you are joining us live, because it helps me not feel like I'm just all by myself in this little conference room in my co-working space here today. What city, state, zip code, part of the country, part of the world that you're in, go ahead and add that down below in the comments. Would love to find that out. And with that, one other thing, we are coming at you Monday through Thursday at noon Central with ideas on how to use different tools, tactics, and strategies to be a more effective sales Sherpa, to be a more effective resource for your prospects and clients. So make sure you come and join us for the rest of October. And because it is Financial Planning Month, that's why we're focused this month on helping financial professionals, people who are helping with that planning. So let's dive in today's topic, though. We don't have a lot of time, only 15 minutes. And today we're going to talk about LinkedIn. It's, of course, a little meta because we're on LinkedIn talking about LinkedIn and LinkedIn engagement. But I want to talk today about using LinkedIn as an engagement tool, as a way to connect with your prospects and your clients over the long term, over a longer period of time. I've been getting a lot of questions during the last 6 months because of shelter in place, because of social distancing. We can't go out and see people in person. So people are now asking, like, well, how do I actually use LinkedIn to continue conversations, start new relationships, but also just really keep the relationships that I do have, keep them going over time? And so I want to share with you a very simple framework today that will help you manage your LinkedIn time and your LinkedIn engagement, because I see people making a lot of mistakes. I also see people not putting enough effort in and thinking something will come back, but I also see people putting out a ton of effort and a ton of energy, but not really doing it strategically and wasting some time and maybe losing some opportunities because of that. And so when we think about LinkedIn engagement, what I'm going to specifically be talking about today is how to engage with your news feed and the people that you're seeing through your news feed, and how to start sharing some content in a simple way. And what we're really doing here, why this is so important, especially when we think about being a sales Sherpa, when we think about being a trusted advisor, a resource for the people we serve, we have to stay visible. We have to stay in front of people, because it's very rare that you're going to just call somebody up and they're like, oh my gosh, I've been sitting here waiting for somebody to help me create a financial plan. Or, oh my gosh, I was just thinking I need somebody to call me out of the blue and sell me some insurance. That doesn't work. We have to put ourselves out there first, build that relationship, so that when the prospect or your existing clients who are going along their own journeys, when they're like, okay, I think now is time when I need to actually bring in an expert in, you're the expert that they reach out to. And that is really what our goal is, using a tool like LinkedIn to create that visibility. So here's 3 ways of thinking about how you're using your time on LinkedIn. And this is presupposing, by the way, that you already have a great LinkedIn profile, that you've created that presence, that baseline static content. If you have any questions about how to do that, reach out to me afterwards. Check out my blog. There's a lot of great content there on how to create a good profile. But then how do we actually, like, what do we do when we jump on LinkedIn at noon on a Wednesday over lunch? What should I actually be doing? Well, okay, there's 3 layers, all right, 3 tiers that we want to look at, and they do build upon each other. So the first layer is actually not where you're posting, but where you're actually engaging with other people's content. There's 3 ways you can do that, right? You can very easily hit the like button, or you can, of course, use one of the other emotions or responses available. There's like, love, interesting, curious. There's always one I forget. They all have the same impact, to tell you the truth. Some of the content you're engaging with, it might be more appropriate to say interesting, as opposed to just like. But that's fine. You can vary it up. But there's in some way a very simple kind of like click a button, boom, done way of engagement. So you can do that. You can also, of course, comment. Commenting is going to be way more impactful. If you don't have a lot of time, if you can't think of anything really to say, hit the like button. That's better than nothing. But a comment is very powerful for 2 reasons. One is it really stands out from all the likes. And so the person who did the original posting, they're going to see your comment. They're going to be able to like read it and go, oh, Bill, read my post and he's responding to it. So that's really powerful. It also gives you the chance to have a conversation. And so one of the things you can do with commenting is share an idea or an insight, but also ask a follow-up question to the person who did the posting. What a great way to start a little mini conversation. Not a huge back and forth, but even 2 or 3 comments back and forth to each other, incredibly powerful. All right, you've kind of planted a flag in their mind, and this is a great way to stay in top of mind with your prospects, or I said existing clients, referral partners. This is huge, and a very easy way to just go through your newsfeed and stay top of mind. The third part of that first layer, the third part of the first layer is the sharing. Here's what I'm going to actually suggest to you: don't share posts unless you really want to. And there's a specific reason why. The algorithm, and if you don't know what the algorithm is, there's actually a set of, I guess, a computer program behind the scenes that determines what is shown on your newsfeed, and conversely, what's shown on everybody else's newsfeed. We don't really know exactly how that newsfeed algorithm works, but it is kind of deciding what you see and what you don't see, right? It's a bit of a gatekeeper. And the reality is if you just hit the share button, the algorithm doesn't really promote that. It doesn't have broad reach. So I would stay away from that. But the first layer is to just on a regular basis, go into your newsfeed, kind of scroll through and hit the like button or some sort of engagement button, or just comment. And when I say do it, a couple times a week, up to maybe even once a day, spend 10 minutes. That's all it takes. But you're going to see that you're having a much higher level of engagement, not only when you're going out and talking to other people through their posting, but of course, this is going to start conversations beyond just those comments back and forth. So that's the first layer. So if you got to do that, that's a good place to start. The second layer is where you're posting content that you haven't created. And so this is very simple. It's posting an article that you've found somewhere. If you work with a larger organization, a lot of times they'll have platforms like Everyday Social, Hearsay Social. Everyone Social. I always get those mixed up. Hearsay Social, Gagalamp, which are platforms which are designed to allow the marketing teams to populate content that then forward-facing, customer-facing agents and representatives can then share through their social feeds. So that can be really powerful. Or if you're just looking at an article and you want to post it, basically that second layer is anytime you are sharing content, so we're actually actively sharing, but you're not generating it. This will depend a little bit, of course, as well on the compliance requirements of your role, of your licensing, of the organization you're with. So definitely check with your compliance department. Make sure if there are regulatory considerations that you take those in mind. But this is a really powerful way of starting to share some insights and share a perspective without having to do the heavy lifting of creating content. And so this can be really powerful, even if it's just sharing something from a large newspaper, a Wall Street Journal, New York Times, whatever it might be, and even just adding a little bit of commentary. Hey, I think this is going to be really interesting to see. I was just reading an article about the airlines, and not specifically the airlines, but actually the Boeing and Airbus who are making airplanes, and what coronavirus means for them or could mean. So even just sharing something like that can be really powerful, or sharing articles on how to do financial planning if you're an individual. That's that next level. The third level, the top level, then of course, is creating your own content. And again, go back and check, make sure you're following all of the compliance rules. But I will say this, don't let compliance be a hindrance, meaning don't just say, oh, they're never gonna let me do it. Actually reach out and talk to them and check. I actually did a session last week. One of our episodes was on how to make compliance your ally versus your adversary. But again, if you are curious about the different compliance requirements of sharing content online, check in with your compliance department. Feel free to reach out to me. I can definitely point you in the right directions. I said this depends a lot on what kind of licenses you have, if it's state regulated, if it's federally regulated, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But for example, FINRA says you can post online. It's not a FINRA thing that says you can't post. It's just you have to be able to archive it. And you, of course, have to follow the rules like you would in any other marketing platform. Like you can't make outrageous promises or specific recommendations. And this is a really amazing way to actually get your voice out there and really be present with your prospects, with your clients, with your entire LinkedIn network, because it's actually you sharing your perspectives, your insights, what you're thinking. This could be a short, a written text post. You see those a lot. You could do a quick video if you're comfortable in front of a camera. Most phones have an amazing camera already in them. In fact, if you use the LinkedIn phone app, you can record the video right in the LinkedIn phone app. You know, you could write an article on LinkedIn. There's a lot of ways of creating content, but that's that third layer where you're creating your own posts. And the thing is, these three layers work together, right? I think everybody should always be doing that first layer, right? You should always be engaged. And even if you're like, heck, I don't want to write something or share something, I don't have the time, the energy, the bandwidth to do that, even just responding to what people are posting keeps you engaged with them and keeps them engaged with you. The second layer, again, you're always doing that first layer. Sometimes you're going to post other content that you found either from your own marketing organization, from other websites, whatever it might be. You know, and then sometimes you might even then start to sprinkle in your own content. And this might seem like a lot, but honestly, it's about 15 minutes a day. Once you've kind of got the habit, once you know what you're doing, that's all. And it might seem like 15 minutes a day, it might be hard to carve out. But if you think about how much impact you're having, and think about that person that you're having a conversation with, that you're engaging with through LinkedIn, when you do pick up the phone to call them and say, hey, you want to have a meeting, much easier to set that up and much easier to do. So I'm almost out of time. And again, we keep this always to 15 minutes. If you have any additional questions, I'm going to really encourage you to check out, you can message me directly for sure. Just message me right here on LinkedIn, super easy. Also, my website and my blog has a ton of content. I'm always creating content on both LinkedIn, but really on just the broader Sales Sherpa approach and how you can use all of these digital tools we have available to us to really have in-person, human-to-human relationships with people, because that's what's really important. Thank you so much for joining me. Check our LinkedIn events. Again, we have LinkedIn events for these calls throughout the rest of the month. And check out our YouTube channel for all of our last ones. If there's any other way that I can help you or an organization you work with, please let me know. And I'm out of time. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.